on Championship Sunday, Peter.
Sean McVay's been the most aggressive coach in the NFL this season. He goes for it on fourth down. He throws convention out the window. He does fake punts. Sean McVay needs to be true to thyself in the biggest game of his career. That's what I want to see, and that involves fourth down courage. They were up 2 points against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle on their own 40-yard line way back in Week 5, and instead of punting the ball away, McVay threw out Jared Goff and said, go get the first down. And look at the reaction from his line and his team. First down, game over. You thought that would be it, right? Just regular season? No. Last week, they're up 8 points against the Cowboys. They're right there on the goal line, and they bring out the offense. Here's McVay looking at the playbook saying, okay, let's do it. What you think is going to happen is that they're going to go for a first down and a touchdown on this play.
That's awesome.
Goff gets to the line. Drawing, okay, it's not there. They're trying to draw. They didn't fall for it. Okay, so timeout. Let's bring out the field goal kicker. We're up 8 points. Fourth quarter, we're up 8 points. Put it up 11. Put it out of reach.
All right, so kick it.
Just kick the field goal. We tried to draw him off sides. And then McVay shows what he's all about. Come on! Goff back there. And look at this. Quick snap. Quick snap. Let's go. They're not ready for it. They thought this was going to be another draw him off sides. C.J. Anderson into the end zone. And look at the reaction from the team, the line. The courage we have in you. That is what Sean McVay has in that offense. And if you're going to beat Sean Payton,
Look at that.
in the Superdome, you have to be true to thyself, and you have to be aggressive on fourth down and be aggressive all 60 minutes. They will not win this game if we see Johnny Hekker on the field three times.
All right.
They will not win this game if we see Greg Zuerlein kicking 3 field goals. They will win this game for playing 60 minutes of the most aggressive football they possibly can. And if Sean McVay is who he is, that is what will happen. That is the key for them to get a win in the Superdome.
Same thing, make you laugh, make you cry.
If that play doesn't work out, the media is crushing.
What are you doing? Take the points.
Take the points.
No, it's good.
Don't worry about it. He got it.
I'll look at the same side of things based off of the Rams side, because everybody's talking about this all of a sudden run game with the Rams and how amazing it is. And C.J. Anderson, who deserves credit, he's looked amazing for 3 weeks in a row, over 120 yards a game. Todd Gurley, guy who scored 21 touchdowns the regular season. But we were so in love with the new shiny thing. What about Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara? Like, these are two guys that have done it week in, week out. And I'm not going to go into their regular season because I think Kyle's right with that stuff. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm talking about even last week. Last week, I just love the resiliency of this team, and you can see it symbolized by the run game. They struggled early in this one. Let's not kid ourselves. The Eagles front, tough. But they got it done. They only had 41 yards in the first half. They sort of meshed and came together, and they had 96 yards on the ground in the second half. Alvin Kamara, yeah, he had his 100-yard total game. He had his, big moments. He sealed the game with a big play. So they're making things happen when it counts. Mark Ingram knows what time it is. This could be his last game, his last situation, his last moment with the Saints. You think he doesn't want to ring? I just feel like with this situation and this run game, that's what I'm really looking at, because I feel like nobody's talking about them, and they're two of it's like maybe the best running back duo in the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, man. And also, you know that the Rams have struggled against the run this year, but Robin showed up last week, right? You know, Robin came in and showed, where's Sue? He came and he dominated, and he showed, why they brought him in and what we expected from this defensive line the entire year. So that's a great point, though.
I'll say this. They're the number 6 rushing attack all season long. The offensive line has been amazing, and then it was banged up, but now they're back and they're fully healthy.
Andrews Pete was in and out of the game. Ryan Ramczyk was a little banged up. Max Unger, they need to be healthy, and they need to rest this week to get ready for Sunday. That's huge.
That's what I'm looking at.
Aaron Ingram could be a snake in the grass. They've been a little too quiet. You know what I mean? It's not going to be quiet in the AFC. I'm going to go and I'm going to talk about the Chiefs crowd. And I'm going to talk about the Chiefs crowd early. There's been so much worshiping of the Superdome, and they deserve that it's almost like we've overlooked the effect of Arrowhead Stadium. Never mind that over the last 5 years, the Chiefs have a better record at home than the Saints, even in December, even in January, despite the Saints having Drew Brees. There's a take out right now that's everywhere. And Colin Cowherd had it, as well as several other prominent people who I respect, that it's going to be too cold to be loud. That they're going to be freezing, they're going to be too bundled up, that they can't be loud. I'm calling BS on that, hard. These people are from Kansas. They're from Missouri. Their blood and their gear are not from Santa Monica. They would need a natural and/or nuclear disaster to affect the crowd at Arrowhead Stadium. They've been waiting 50 years from this game. Even the gnomes aren't even cold. And my take on this is that Cold people are loud. They're really loud. I've been in some ridiculously cold stadiums in Chicago, in South Bend, Indiana. There's an adrenaline with cold. There's almost a fear with the cold. Show me something cold, and I will show you something deafening. My sisters are always freezing. They never shut up about it. You could put them in Arrowhead, and they'd break the decibel record. Air conditioning units, loud. Freezer, loudest appliance. The snowblower, loudest tool. Stone Cold Steve Austin, hell yeah, very loud. Cold Stone Creamery, Tip Tip Hooray, very loud. Yeah. Frozone from The Incredibles, the loudest character in the movie. Arnold is Mr. Freeze, ow, never shuts up. Cold sores, a very loud blemish. And it's not just me. It's science, guys. It is. Do you know sound waves actually create heat? That's not a thing. That's not a Mr. Wizard. Sound and heat are just macroscopic descriptions for molecules and atoms, my friends.
Wow.
It's going to be extremely loud there. I don't care how cold it is. The only thing that's going to be cold is the take that says it's not going to be loud. Watch the hell out. It's too cold. Let's go. You know who's quiet? Hot people. You're exhausted. You have no energy. It's down in Miami or Tampa. That's what I'm worried about. Kansas City is negative 50. I still think they'll blow our eardrums out.
They'll bring it.
That's why they just turned the AC up, and that's why it got your decibels.
That's it.
Hey, my roommate. And where is my super suit? What do you got, Bart?
For me, I'm going to get nerdy, too. I'm going to talk about the grass surface that the teams are going to be playing on, because a lot of people don't realize that, Kansas City plays on a grass surface, so now you're not going to have secure footing. You look at who has the most athletes, who has home field advantage. You have to give it to the Kansas City Chiefs because they have the faster athletes. And, you look at guys like Tyreek Hill, you look at Kelsey. These are guys that can move. Now, you look at what happened with, last week, you look at Tyreek Hill circling the defense. Last week, we were hard on the coach saying that they didn't look inspired. They looked like they were running. They didn't know how to run on this surface. And what happens is when grass and choppy surfaces get cold, they become slick. And what do you do when it's slick? You try and make sure that you have your feet underneath you. So watch change of directions, watch explosive plays like a reverse. What is it? Is it a change of direction trick play? Guys have to change direction. They don't know where to go. Look for this to be a big part of the game. I think this is why I give the Kansas City Chiefs a big advantage, because they understand all the divots, all the things that happen when it frees up, falling on that cold surface. Big advantage.
You're a visiting player. You get there pregame. Are you looking at where the surfaces are trouble spots on the field in a game like this?
Well, you only get to warm up on your half for the most part, right? Because once the other team comes out, you can't cross the 50. But also the field conditions are going to change during the game, right? Because it's going to be parts of the field where you may be running more, so it may start to chop up. And how do you adjust to it? What do you do? Are you going to change your studs? What do you know what to do? So those are the different things. You go with the, a lot of times when it's cold, you want to go with the molded ones because you want to have something close to the surface. Okay. If you're a certain position player, so you look at the offensive linemen, they usually have the rubber molds. You look at the skill position guys, they have, the studs with the metal tips so that it can cut through the blade. But what happens is when it's cold, it's a slippery surface. So now it works against you. So every player in every position is a little different. Watch guys coming out, and they're going to have the screw-ins going to the sideline and say, hey, these aren't working, screw them out. But Kansas City's got an opportunity to practice on it all week. The Patriots are going to be figuring it out as they go.
It's like NASCAR.
Yeah. Sound waves create heat, divots in the grass to the advantage of the Chiefs. Where else are you getting this sort of information on a Thursday? This is Good Morning.